Bomba-dee-da, 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 bomba-dee-da,
Good morning.
Good morning.
And happy trails, everybody.
Happy trail.
How we doing? First of all, check out our background. Look at this. Fireside chat. Oh,
Yeah.
nice.
So warm.
It's cozy. It's nice to have a nice fire here in Dallas.
So warm.
When the high is 107 today.
Yeah.
So
And it's either heated my face or I got sunburn in the
he gets
in
inside.
the auditorium all morning and day.
Raccoon eyes. Oh, we have so much fun doing this. I just can't. I can understand why all you guys are joining us and
I'd join.
entertained by it.
I'd join in.
I'd listen.
I would
listen.
I'd totally listen.
Well, we're going to introduce ourselves because we never do that. Dr. Blaine McLaughlin, and I have
Matt Bynum, Dr. Matt Bynum from Greenville, South Carolina.
And I'm from Robbins, Iowa, and we're a couple dentists, and we're talking about multifamily real estate and happy trails because we are sailing off into the sunset from our dental careers into our real estate careers.
That's right. We're sailing off into the sunset and wondering who's got your money.
Right on.
We say that every podcast, just so you know, even if it doesn't fit in the context of what we're talking about, I'll just say it. So it's kind of like where's Waldo? You wonder. You're like, is he going to say that stupid?
But that doesn't mean you have to leave right now because it's already said.
Sometimes
you can listen to our
you can hang on
update here. So this is we got done with day 2. We are starting day 3 of Aimnatcon.
Yes,
this is the Apartment Investor AIM Apartment Investor Mastery National Conference, and we got about 600 people here who have joined us to learn about real estate and what's going on. And so every day we got different speakers and they talk about different stuff, and so we're just kind of here sharing stuff with you guys and letting you know what we're learning. So
so I got invited to the Millionaire's Breakfast this morning. Right now, it's going on right now, and I skipped it.
We decided the podcast
podcast was far more important than being pitched a deal.
Yeah,
which is cool. I'm all about it, but I don't think that deal's for me because I've already heard about it. So
yep, I've heard about it too.
Yep,
not for me either.
And when you're here at these conferences, the majority of your time is spent networking, which, to be quite honest, is one of the main reasons you can accelerate in multifamily, because you have to join in with other people that are movers and shakers. So for some people, networking is not a comfortable thing. I get it. I'm not really a big network kind of guy, even though people may think that I am. I'm not. I'd rather just kind of hang out with people I know. Blaine always says he's not. He's like Mr. Chatterbox all over the bar. Hey,
whatever.
I'm from Robbins, Iowa.
That's because everybody's like, Iowa? What the hell are you doing here?
Yeah, they're like, where is that?
There are a couple Iowa people here. I was trying to get an interview with them, and but 600 people roaming around, sometimes it's hard to find.
It's surprising.
Find the people you want to.
Yeah, it's surprising for sure.
We're trying to get little video interviews, and every time I come across, it's like too loud, and there's freaking.
It's so when everybody gathers, it's really, really loud. But yesterday was day 2, today's day 3. I think today is going to be a little bit more motivation. They had a motivational speaker yesterday talking about mindset, and today we're going to have a motivational speaker who has no legs, and part of an arm.
One arm.
I don't know if it's a full arm.
I don't know. We'll find out. I've never heard of him.
It might be a baby arm.
Maybe.
Yeah. Either way, I think he's going to be very inspirational.
Oh, I get emotional when I hear stuff like that. A lot of times, especially after having kids, I get way more emotional. I'll probably start crying.
I just think it's because I have low T. I think it's really. I'm just so sensitive these days as you get older. But anyway, I think there's nothing better to inspire you to engage in multifamily than to have an inspirational, motivational talk from somebody who's overcome obstacles. I think
Well,
that's the
and obviously we talked about this, I think last time, it's maybe a couple times ago, but we talked about fear. Fear is what really holds you back. And it holds a lot of people back from doing what they want to do because they don't know. And the fear of the unknown is huge. And so you
Yeah.
hear stuff like this and you're like, well, other people can do that. Why can't I? Because Matt told me earlier, he goes, I heard if something's been done by somebody else, then you can do it too.
Yeah, essentially that's what I said.
So essentially,
If somebody's doing it, then it can be done.
oh, there you go. That was it.
That was what I said.
That
But
was
Blaine's
it.
interpretation is pretty spot on, But yeah, so I mean, the whole deal is just pretty simple. Is you got to step away from your comfort zone. That was the main consensus yesterday. There were several speakers, and each one of them said the same thing. But the truth is, the comfort zone is what keeps you safe and keeps you warm, and nobody wants to step in the freaking cold plunge. Okay,
when they can be warm.
They were talking about cold plunge
Fireside.
yesterday.
Yeah. Brad talks about it because he's done it once.
Yeah, for 2 minutes.
And Matt's like,
I'm like, I want to know how cold
10
it
minutes
was
every day.
Like, really? Like, how cold was it? Like 50? I talk to people, they're like, oh my gosh, I get in, it's like 51 degrees.
My
I'm
first
like,
one's going to be 60.
Wow, that's good. I wash my hair in 51 degree water. Duh. Kidding. So yeah, why don't you kick us off, Blaine? You want to go speaker by speaker, or you want to
We could.
or you want to just talk about what your best or your favorite?
Well, we had I guess our first guy was Dave. I started with a W.
Yeah.
And it's kind of a long name, and he's a buddy of Brad's. And
yeah.
The thing that kind of intrigued me about what he was talking about is AI and how it can be used in obviously there's some law that some guy came up with that said technology doubles every 2 years. So
I think it's probably faster than that, dude. Right now.
I mean, the guy came up with it in 1965.
I think in 65 it was doubling every 2 years.
Yeah.
Now it's probably doubling every 2 weeks.
But yeah, artificial intelligence, if you haven't been under a rock, you've heard about it in some of the things it can do. And this, and he's like, it's going to be used as managers, right? I mean, so we have some thoughts on that. A lot of the questions can be answered. They can go online and talk to a virtual person. Let's call her Mia, I think is what they named her.
We can call her Mia. I don't care.
And they were using it, 80-90% of the questions that people have are the same, right? And that makes sense. What's my rent? And I have a service request or something like that needs to be taken care of. And so that can all be handled by the AI. Then again, if you don't have somebody there to do that, it lowers your cost. Okay. We talked about increase the income, decreasing the expenses, right? And that helps increase your NOI and the value. And so if you don't have to pay somebody, then you lower your expenses, and that helps the value of the property. So he's like, there's all sorts of stuff coming out. I'm like, well, it sounds kind of cool, but we had the other flip side of that is,
part of getting into multifamily is developing communities, not only where people live, but also helping communities at large. And kind of our take on the AI is, how many of you make a phone call into a place now and AI takes over, press 1 or answer.
I don't know if that's AI, but
that is AI.
You get what you talk about.
That is AI.
And that's annoying.
And now you can engage with somebody. So the AI is getting a little bit more advanced where I use AI in my dental practice, believe it or not, using voice recognition and keyword phrases. It'll pick up and it'll diagnose whether or not a phone call has been handled properly.
Oh yeah. Okay, I get you.
I use that for analysis. So this is basically taking a computer image and allowing them to have a conversation with somebody. I think there's limitations. There's always limitations. So my response to that is there's always going to be a need for a person
to
be in front of people. And there's always going to be a need from the person that's interviewing the management group or the apartment complex, whatever, to want to be with the person.
Relationships.
That's
that.
how we are. So I think, yeah, while the management fees in a syndication are, 5 to 8%, 6 to 8% if they're operating efficiently and productively. So yeah, you cut down the 8 to, I don't know, would you cut it down to 5? So that's awesome. If you're talking about a $15 million deal, that's nice savings. But at the same time, I'm thinking, what are we doing to help the population?
Yeah.
And the people gain money and potential to help grow people.
Yeah, you got to have those relationships. And so, I don't think you're going to be able to get rid of people altogether. But the other thing the AI is able to do is help analyze all your numbers. So if you can plug in, how many people have applied for, rent in your place, how many people have accepted, how many people rejected, you can get all sorts of, it can figure out all these trends, and it can tell you, hey, you are weak in this area. You need to market more or something like that, or you're having a problem, closing this part of this deal, but it'll be able to analyze things a lot easier, I think.
Yeah, I definitely think it has some benefits to it for sure. I don't know, is it going to be mainstream right away? I don't know. There's probably people using it now, but it was cool to hear about it for sure. I thought it was very interesting to hear about.
Yep.
Who else we have?
We had Charlie Young, and Charlie Young is he's a I don't think he's a billionaire yet, but he's got to be.
He does pretty well.
Yeah,
let's just say that.
Getting close. He does a lot of huge deals in Texas, mostly Dallas and Houston.
What's his group called? Madeira.
Sounds
Madeira.
Right.
I think it is, and he's got a basically a real estate investment group, maybe even capital group that comes in, and he started really getting big with what he was doing just only 4 years ago is when he started to really make 5 years ago when he started to make some really big moves. So now he's considered in the likes of the Goldman Sachs and that kind of thing as an individual.
He competes with the industry, the big companies, Blackstone and that kind of stuff for 1,000-unit deals and hundreds of millions of dollar deals and stuff like that. So there aren't too many individuals that are on that level. And so, I mean, he's just a everyday kind of guy, man.
Yeah, it was cool. He's
cool
from
guy.
Texas. So, I believe he's from the Houston area because he knows Houston like the back of his hand.
He was telling us about Houston. Yeah.
Just every street and what area and whatnot. Yeah. So, I mean, that's really his jam is Houston. So what my takeaway from his talk was, first off, you really got to investigate and do the research on your market.
You got to know your market, man.
Got to know your market if you're going to jump in. I mean, if you're trusting the people that you're with, then maybe you don't have to know it as much as if you were going to GP the deal. If you're going to GP a deal and you're going to put the deal together, you better know the market. So Charlie's one that he has really gearing towards Houston right now, staying away from some areas that are oversaturated, not going into places where there's nothing. There are corridors that have nothing. But then again, there are areas that are underserved. And he was kind of pointing those areas out and things. So I enjoyed his talk. I thought he had some cool things to say. And I just like that he's from Texas and, he has that big drawl coming down. And
it's like your wife.
Just a normal,
got a little Southern accent.
But normal guy. And really, really enjoyed listening to him for sure.
Yep.
You?
Yep. And then we had Teresa Todd, and she's a motivational lady that spoke yesterday.
Yeah, she was talking about mindset.
Yeah, we
and she's got she's got a women's group.
Yeah, women in real estate or something like that.
Yeah, which is, I mean, that's awesome. I love women.
Kind of started that. She got into real estate because her sons drug her into it because they got into it. She's like, it's kind of backwards.
Yeah, they were killing the game, I guess.
The parents teach the kids how to do this stuff, and my kids drug me in and took on, and they're like, you got to invest in this, and she's like, that's all the money I have. Anyway, so she's doing really well. So that was kind of cool.
I think the job, same thing she said, she quit her job. She was making for years working in physicians' offices.
Yeah.
She must have been a clerk or admin or something. She's making $65,000 a year, and now she's making well beyond that, investing. So She's also a big proponent of multifamily. She's a big proponent of real estate, like we all are, but she's a big proponent of multifamily because this is how you scale your money and scale your business. But she like everybody else, real estate's been the one thing that stands the test of time, and it proves over and over to be a good investment.
Recession resistant.
Yeah.
Even.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then Brad talked a little bit about mastery and how to obtain mastery. And he went through a bunch of these things: focus, commitment, immersion, repetition, proximity, being coachable. As the fact that people, as we get older, and this is what we're doing, we're investing money to save time, as opposed to investing time for money, which we talk about all the time, trading time for money.
For sure.
And then getting out of your comfort zone. And those are all the factors he came up with that that you need in order to have mastery in anything, right? And he said you got to have 2,000 hours. I thought it was 10,000 hours to have mastery, but 2,000 hours of like education or experience in a certain area to find mastery.
I think mastery, like technology, is changing. So it used to be 10,000, maybe it's 2,000.
I mean, it could be 6,000.
It could be somewhere in between.
Like 6,420.
It might be.
So,
as a matter of fact, I think I heard that.
Yeah, something.
I did. I just heard that. Literally, just heard that.
Right.
So, from a reliable source, Blaine's.
No.
Yeah. So I thought Brad's always good. Brad's always talking about stuff. Obviously, it's his course, it's his deal, and he's got some good stuff that he was putting out. Yesterday wasn't as captivating for me as it was the day before.
No, not here,
but I think the one thing in what you mentioned in mastery that always stands out for me is proximity, and it's something that in the dental profession and the medical profession, proximity doesn't really get you much other than acquaintances and maybe learning a little bit more. But in the game of multifamily real estate, proximity is power. Proximity gets you potentially a seat at the table. It gets you, as they're talking about here, they get you, instead of the back of the line, it gets you to the middle of the line or to the front of the line. So the proximity that is developed in relationships, once again, relationship is why proximity is so powerful.
Yeah. And I totally agree with you. Proximity, and it's proximity to other people, right? And other people who know people. And so one of my main goals on this trip was proximity with with one of our favorite people, Nancy Kitty. And I wanted to get around her and chat with her, and she's got a lot going on, and she's just a wealth of knowledge, and she just never slows down or is quiet.
She's awesome. Nancy,
amazing.
We're gonna get her. We're gonna try to do a quick little talk with her today.
Hoping she'd run by here this morning. It's probably early. She's probably sleeping.
Yeah, she stays up late. I don't know if she sleeps actually, but
I'm not sure.
Nancy was one of the first people that I met at my first Sumrock event, and I just watched this girl, man. She was super. She seemed to carry herself in a way different, and she was really on the come up as far as when I first met her. She was meeting Charlie Young, and she was meeting all these people. Well, now she's in several deals with Charlie Young. Charlie picks her up on the plane, and they take off and go look at properties together. So there's that proximity thing we're talking about is huge, but being around Nancy is, you can just take in the things that she's talking about, because she's been in the multifamily game now for 6 years, I think. And
yeah, I say more like 8, but her first deal was about 6 years ago. She was they did some single family stuff, flips and stuff like that when they started their real estate venture.
So just love being around her. Her sister Palmy, I thought I had met her, but I haven't met her. I realized that. Palmy's the elusive one from the Kitty Sisters. But the Kitty Sisters, they put on a good podcast, and it's full of information too. Check them out. Our good friend Noel Liu was here. He made an appearance the first day and was gone. I sent him a text. I said, "Dude, where are you?" And he says, "I left."
What?
So he heads up a group that is Doctors and Dentists Passive Income. Right? Is that the name? And
trying check it out on Facebook.
Yeah, check it out on the Facebook group, and he does a great job with his partner, and delivering content and information, and he's making some big strides too. I'm going to remember. I'm going to say, gosh, I remember Noel when
he used to be
yeah,
a regular.
So he's wild
person
man.
like us.
He's a wild man, but maybe somebody will say that about Blaine's one day. And I'll be like, I remember when Blaine used to hang out with me, and
they used to say that on Ragbri.
did they?
You're about 20 years ago when I used to run Ragbri.
Yes, you
And
did.
Team Mosquito was the
You did.
But the proximity, so that's cool. And then repetition was the other thing. And then, if you guys are like, I've heard this from you before, well, good for you. And we're going to say it again.
Yeah.
Have you ever heard anything about relationships and how important they are?
Yeah.
Repetition.
Have we said it?
Is so key into learning this stuff. And you repeat something over and over and over again, it becomes part of your mindset. And
I think overall, the meeting has really, it's brought me back to several key principles for why I even wanted to get involved, and getting more affirmation, being around more people, watching them grow and watching them succeed, gathering more information and confidence and talking to other people about certain situations. Now that we have the happy trails, people actually have come up to us and have said, hey man, I love the content you guys are putting out.
Yeah,
because it's more of a real, we're learning it as they're learning it. We don't claim to be any expert by any means, but we'll pass on what we learn, and hopefully that'll help you along your way. But yeah, so there's just some things going on in the meeting. That's good.
One of the kind of, you touched on it barely, but just almost did.
Did I tangent?
You
Squirrel.
kind of, anyway, one of the things I've noticed about this is the first couple times I was down here for these meetings, I think this is my fourth one. I came and I'm like, what, I'm thinking I don't have anything I can bring to this. I just need to sit and learn and try and figure out what the hell's going on. And I came to this one. I'm like, you know what? I think I can bring some value to some people this time. I know enough. I've learned enough over the last year and a half. I've connected with enough people. That I can bring some, and I've helped. I've talked to a few people here. A lady from Canada who, I told her all about what I have learned, what I know, and she's like, "Oh my God, that's so great! I'm so glad you that helps so much with my decision and what I want to do." And so, I mean, it felt good. I felt like I'm contributing.
I think it's good to have Matthew here.
Oh yeah,
you may see him if he comes down, maybe not. But I think it's good to have him here and kind of learning, and he's asking a lot of questions.
He is.
It's kind of like, I mean, it really is like us. And I found myself the first day maybe it's yesterday, getting upset again. And I'll be honest with you, just like the first rat race to retirement meeting I went to, I got to lunch and I was just upset to learn these things, and no one had dared to teach us. It's been common amongst the real estate circles, but no one shared any of that with dentists and healthcare professionals. And it's still foreign when we talk about it with other people. They look at me like, I got three eyes, and they're like, what? Same way I felt.
Or they're looking at you like, why are you sunburned inside?
Yeah. Why did it get so sunburned? And well, I was by the spotlight, I think. It kept running by me. Maybe that's it. I did get sunburned before I left, but that was like 5 days.
Don't look sunburned right from this angle. It must be the fire.
But yeah, so I found myself yesterday getting a little bit upset listening to Tom Wheelwright. Tom Wheelwright is the CPA.
He was our last speaker.
He's a CPA for Brad and Robert Kiyosaki and some big heavy hitters. His fee to become, he only takes 2 clients a year, and his fee is $200,000. But he usually pulls that 200,000, save somebody at least $1 million or more.
Something like that, yeah.
So would you pay 200,000 to save $1 million in tax? I would.
Yeah.
But there were some things that he said that I want to share with you guys that just got me charged up again. And one of the things he said was that if you want to change your tax, you need to change your facts. FACTS. FAX, not fax machine. If you want to change your tax, you've got to change your fax. And what that simply means is in your reporting, you've got to change the facts of what you're doing. And it's not so much the question is not, is this deductible?
Yeah, I was going to say that.
The question is, how do we make it deductible? Because this man has done workarounds because he knows the tax code so well. And one of the great explanations that he gives is he says the tax code is how many pages?
I don't know, 100 billion.
Yeah, 100 billion pages.
He's
and
right.
there's only 23 that teach you graphs and things like that and brackets. And the rest is basically a cheat code to get as maximum of write-offs and taking advantage of that tax code as you can. It's a roadmap. Basically, it goes something like this: is if you do anything that helps the government, or you do anything that the government's wanting you to do, like add housing for more people because housing is at a shortage, drive an electric vehicle because the emissions are potentially causing a problem, things like that. Solar in your house to get away. Those things are to be rewarded. So there are either tax cuts, there are tax deductions for all of those things. Well, as dentists, what really got me freaking fired up again yesterday was I just had my tax planning meeting with my accountants 3 weeks ago. And basically, based on our 6-month collections, we're going to owe an incredible amount of tax because as high earners, which a lot of people watching this are, you're probably paying, if you own your own business, you're probably paying 60% of your money out, meaning you're paying not only for you, you're paying for your employees. So yes, to be a business owner is great. There's certain advantages, but damn, I mean, paying the money that we're paying in taxes is ridiculous. And to hear that figure, just, yeah, it upset me. I got to tell you, I was like, what? And the accountant's like, but man, I want you to think about how well you've done. Like this means you've done really well. And I'm thinking, I don't care how well I've done. I'm giving all the money to Uncle Sam. This is BS, man. It's bullshit. And Wheelwright kind of affirmed that yesterday. He's like, how many people are business owners? And shit, I mean, 2/3 of the room. And he says, business owners do one of two things. They spend money. Where's my camera? They spend money or they save money. If you spend money or save money in any capacity, then you pay tax.
Right.
If you are an investor, guess what? Zero tax.
Pay tax.
Zero tax.
On stuff.
And I'm sitting here thinking, I need to move that needle over there so bad because I'm tired of paying it. And that's really what Happy Trails is all about, man. How do we take this income that we've been earning for years, and how do we decipher the information in the roadmap so we can write a majority or all of what we do off and pay no tax? Well, we can't do that legally.
Let's call it legally.
We're
not trying to.
We can't do it as business owners. You can't do it as an employee. You can only do that if you're an investor. Which means the money that you are creating has to go towards investment, which you can then pay yourself through investment to live on legally. So again, these are things that Blaine and I have discussed that we really need to get a little more granular with for you guys. Again, as we learn it, we're going to share it because it's important for you to take that. If you're just hearing me and hearing Blaine and I for the first time mention something like this, your interest should be going, what?
What's going on?
What you talking about, Willis?
What? Will.
What you talking about, Willis? Well, you guys going all Gary Coleman on me right about now. Remember him? Anyway.
Yeah.
So I watched Wheelwright again do his spiel, and he got up and showed how to basically, Brad offered a program yesterday. It was maybe 35 grand. And he says, I'm going to show you how to get the money to pay for this. And
save it on your taxes, and you can invest in yourself.
Give 2 examples of how to do this and found the money. So you really have no excuse if you want to do that. So one of those that he used was creating a home office. And if somebody out there listening, if not all of you, you probably have a home office and you've probably been told you can't do that. Can't write that off. You're a business owner, you can't write that off. Well, he made a statement yesterday. He said there hasn't been an audit of a home office claim since 2002. It's over 20 years. That's not to say they can't do that. But if there hasn't been a claim after a home office done properly since 2002, you got to believe, like we said, if somebody's doing it, then it can be done. So just the savings to have your own home office, that one hit Matthew yesterday because Matthew works from home.
He's like, what?
And I know that he has no idea about taxes in regards to setting up his home office or his girlfriend, Maddie. So he's taking that back right away. That was one of the things that he gleaned right away that's going to help him. But yeah, I don't know. Did you get upset yesterday like I did? Or were you like,
no.
Why are you so upset?
No, I didn't notice that you were upset.
No, I was upset later. I didn't get upset while he was talking about it.
No,
I did get upset.
I mean,
later.
I've heard all that. And so that, again, that's, for me, that's something that, I mean, that's why why I'm here is to help all that stuff. So I've kind of, I've let it go. And I know it's there. I'm going to let it get upset. I don't want to, if you get upset, it ruins your DNA.
Yeah. It stirred my DNA yesterday.
It like your DNA just like tightens up and
look, let me tell you something.
Produce the enzymes
when you're giving the government over $1 million in freaking tax, people, I got news for you. It pisses you off.
Right.
Because that's money could have been in your pocket. It's money that you could have been investing. It's money that could have been generating wealth for your children and your grandkids. It's something rather than give to Uncle Sam, of which they obviously have proven they don't have any problem with generating wealth or money. They just print more, print more shit,
spending it because it doesn't matter.
Yeah, they don't care to spend. They spend it, but if they don't have enough, they print it. So, and that was Kiyosaki's thing the other day. He's like, the world's changing right in front of me and no one's doing anything about it. So I think the way that we would recommend that you get involved in the game and do something about it is invest, learn some of this and invest and take control of what's happening so you can generate your own income. But yeah, I did get a little pissy yesterday. It was later on though. I was just, as a matter of fact, I was texting Ann and I'm like, I was just screwing around saying, hey, I'm going to join this program. Let's see if she'd get pissy. And she did. We got a lot of irons in the fire, different stuff. And I mean, the program is not suited for me right now.
Not for us right now.
It's definitely something that we'll do
in the future. I definitely will.
Yeah, it's just not in the cards right now. And that's okay. But, and Ann never says you can't do that. She says, I don't think the time is right for that. And I was just kind of laughing. But then I started getting mad and I said, you know something, but he's right. We need to move the needle in that direction.
Yeah.
Because I'm tired of giving my money up, man. Work too freaking hard. My back's killing me. All this stuff that we got to figure this happy trails, man, quick.
We're working on it.
I know we're here. And it is. But I've heard wheelwrights say that many times. And yesterday, I don't know, it just kind of led to a culmination of hearing it again. Repetition is the second law of learning, and recognition is the first law of learning. Recognizing that there is a problem is first. Recognizing that you need help is first. Recognizing you don't know what you don't know. Recognizing that your tax situation is a problem. Recognizing that that your money being left in a market that you have no control over that's falling apart is a problem. That's Blaine.
Ask me about my retirement plan.
Yeah. So these are all reasons why we want you on this ride with us. And we hope that we can gain your trust and knowledge and who we are and what we're doing. So when we throw a deal out there for you, you want to be involved in it. And that's the goal. Our goal is to get there to where we can drag you with us. And maybe at some point, those of you out there that are listening and educating yourselves, you're going to lead a deal. And if you didn't come to this meeting, you got to come to the next one that we're at, because you got to invest in yourself. And
invest in yourself.
Yeah.
No better thing to do.
I
No
just
better thing to
monopolized
invest
a
in.
lot of time right there. So I apologize. You
Whew.
take it.
Hey, well, at least I didn't fall asleep next to you.
That's
We got the nice fire going on, so
That's
that's
true.
just like the great ambiance.
He was straight. He was, but what was weird is he was like, his nails are on my back while I was talking. It's weird. I didn't flinch though. That was the thing. I didn't flinch at all. I just rolled with it. And it's the way it is.
All right. That's all I got for today.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to today, and it's last day for the main conference. Then tomorrow there's a
Extra
extended day for those that are platinum, because we're platinum.
We're platinum, baby.
Remember we talked about playing small? We don't play small.
Platinum. We're not silver, gold, copper.
Yeah, we played small for too long. It's
roll
time
to
to
platinum level.
It's time to roll that out. Yeah.
Okay. Is that it? Well, I think we'll cut her from here, and we're
Stay
gonna
tuned for some
have a
interviews.
day. We'll get some interviews. I still don't know how that's all gonna work, how we're gonna put that together, but we'll figure it out. We'll figure it out.
We always do.
And maybe we'll do tomorrow again. See what kind of, another update tomorrow before we go on our bus tour.
I think it'd be good. If we go on a bus
If we go on a
tour,
bus tour,
we don't know what we're doing.
We'll talk about that later.
We'll find out
So,
what we're doing.
Don't
For
worry
sure.
about that right now. We'll let you know.
Hey
All
guys, thanks for tuning in
Hey.
again. Share the podcast, tell your friends, watch on YouTube, listen in your car.
Get on YouTube and freaking subscribe to our channel.
Yeah.
Or like it, or what is it? Well, I don't even know what YouTube
I don't know
is
what you do.
called.
Just
like
do whatever it
subscribe or
says to do.
whatever.
We don't know. We're not technologically set. Well, I'm not.
Well, yeah,
We've
no
proven
shit,
that,
yeah.
right? Okay. So that's why Blaine does all the editing.
Right on. All right, have a great day. We'll talk to you soon. Happy trails, everybody.
Happy trails, and let's disengage Radio Voice. Hey there. Blaine, that was great. That's really good.